Solomon was the wisest man who ever lived. God himself gave him that wisdom. And Solomon didn't just warn about dangerous women. He described exactly what the right one looks like. If you're praying for a godly partner, you need to know these signs. Because God doesn't just send anyone. He sends the right one at the right time. But you have to have eyes to see it. Most men miss the signs. Today we're breaking down 5 signs that God is sending you the right woman. Pay attention. This might change how you pray and how you search. Let's begin. Sign number 1. She fears God. Proverbs 31:30. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Notice what Solomon says first. Not her looks, not her personality, her fear of God. Because everything else flows from that one foundation. A woman who fears God doesn't need you to keep her accountable. She holds herself accountable. She prays. Not because it's expected, because she actually needs it. She opens the Word not to look spiritual, but because she's hungry for it. You'll know this woman because her faith isn't performance. It's her foundation. When life gets hard, she doesn't fall apart. She falls on her knees. When she's tempted to compromise, she stops. Because God is more real to her than the temptation. She's not perfect, but her heart is oriented toward God. And that's what matters. Now here's where men get confused. She might not talk about God every sentence, but watch her decisions. Watch her when no one is looking. Does she maintain her integrity when it costs her? That's the fear of God. Does she forgive when she could hold a grudge? That's the fear of God. Does she tell the truth even when a lie would be easier? That's the fear of God. Contrast this with a woman who uses religion as a social filter, but lives for herself. She goes to church on Sunday and does whatever she wants Monday through Saturday. That inconsistency is a warning. Faith has to be the core, not the decoration. Here's the test. Look at her fruit. Matthew 7:16. By their fruits you will know them. Does her life produce patience, kindness, self-control? Or does drama follow her everywhere? The right woman's faith is visible, not in what she says, but in how she lives. And when you find a woman whose foundation is God, you found someone worth pursuing. Because a house built on rock stands through every storm. And a relationship built on shared faith in God is a house built on rock. Sign number 1 confirmed. She fears God. Not man, not the world. God. That changes everything about how she loves, how she leads, how she handles conflict. Sign number 2, she speaks life. Proverbs 12:18, reckless words pierce like a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. The woman God sends will not use her words as weapons. She'll speak truth, but with love. She'll correct, but with grace. When you share a dream with her, she doesn't laugh at it. She asks how she can support it. When you fail, she doesn't pile on. She reminds you of who God says you are. This doesn't mean she never disagrees with you. Healthy relationships have disagreements. But there's a difference between honest conversation and constant criticism. A woman who tears you down with her tongue every day in small ways is draining your strength. Proverbs 21:9. Better to live on a corner of a roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. God doesn't say that lightly. Constant verbal conflict destroys something deep in a man. But the right woman, her words build you up. She calls out the king in you. She sees potential you haven't even seen in yourself yet. And she's not flattering you. She's actually discerning your gifts. Proverbs 31:26. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. Notice, wisdom first, then instruction. She doesn't just talk. She thinks before she speaks. You'll know her because you feel better after conversations with her. Not worse. You'll walk away with clarity, not confusion. Peace, not anxiety. Her words align with the Word. She's not quoting Proverbs. She's living it. Now ask yourself, when you talk to her, do you feel seen, encouraged, challenged in a good way? Or do you feel judged, drained, never enough? How a woman speaks to you in the dating phase reveals how she'll speak to you in marriage. Don't ignore that signal. God built speech into humanity for connection and healing. The woman he sends will use that gift well. Sign number 2, she speaks life. With her words and with her silence. Sign number 3, peace follows her. Galatians 5:22 lists the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. These aren't personality traits. They're the result of a life connected to God. And when you're around the right woman, you feel that fruit. There's something calming about her presence. Not boring, calming. Drama doesn't follow her into every room. She doesn't create chaos and then act like a victim. When conflict arises, she addresses it directly, with maturity, not manipulation. She doesn't give you the silent treatment for days. She doesn't blow up over small things. She has self-control. And that self-control is one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. Proverbs 17:27. A person of knowledge uses words with restraint. Whoever has understanding is even-tempered. Even-tempered, that's what you're looking for. Not someone who never gets upset, but someone who handles being upset with maturity. The right woman has done inner work. She knows her triggers and manages them. She doesn't use her past as an excuse to hurt you in the present. She takes responsibility for her emotions instead of making you responsible for them. That's the fruit of the Spirit. Not a perfect personality, but a surrendered one. Now compare that to a woman whose presence raises your anxiety. Every text from her makes you nervous. Every outing is a potential minefield. That's not a relationship. That's emotional labor with no end in sight. God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. 1 Corinthians 14:33. If your relationship with her is consistently chaotic, take that as information. The right woman's peace is not passive. She fights for it through prayer and self-discipline. And she guards the peace in your relationship like something precious. When you come home from a hard day, she makes it better, not harder. She's a safe place, not a perfect place, a safe place. Philippians 4:7, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts. A woman walking in God's peace carries that with her. You can feel it. Sign number 3, peace follows her. That's not luck, that's the Spirit. Sign number 4, she serves others. And she doesn't make a big deal out of it. Matthew 20:26. Whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant. Greatness in God's kingdom looks nothing like greatness in the world. And the woman God sends will understand this. She doesn't need a spotlight to do good. Think about Ruth. She followed Naomi into uncertainty with nothing to gain. She worked in the fields from morning until evening. She didn't complain. She didn't use her loyalty as leverage. She just served, faithfully, consistently. And God noticed, Boaz noticed, the whole community noticed. You don't have to announce your goodness when it's real. It shows. The right woman serves in her community, at church, in her neighborhood, in small daily ways. She helps without being asked. She gives without calculating the return. She's kind to people who can't give her anything back. The elderly, children, strangers. Watch how she treats waiters. Watch how she treats people who work service jobs. That's your mirror. The way she treats people with no power over her, that's the real her. Proverbs 31:20. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. She's not spending all her energy on herself. She has capacity to give. And here's the thing about a servant heart. It's exactly what a marriage needs. Marriage isn't 50-50. On some days it's 80-20. On some days it's all or nothing. A woman who only shows up when it's equal and comfortable, she'll struggle in covenant. But a woman who knows how to serve, she'll love you through hard seasons. She'll show up when you're sick. She'll encourage you when you've failed. Not because you deserve it, because love, real love, isn't based on performance. 1 Corinthians 13:7. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. That kind of love is trained. It grows through surrender and sacrifice. And the woman who's been practicing that in her everyday life she's ready to bring it into a marriage. A servant heart isn't weakness. It's the foundation of every great home. Esther served her people at the risk of her own life. That's the standard. Sign number 4, she serves. Without a camera, without an audience, without needing applause. Sign number 5, she believes in your calling, sometimes before you do. Proverbs 31:23. Her husband is respected at the city gate when he takes his seat among the elders. This verse is about a man of honor. But notice, he's backed by a woman of honor. The right woman doesn't compete with your purpose. She complements it. She sees what God put in you, and she calls it out instead of tearing it down. When you share your vision with her, she doesn't roll her eyes. She prays about it with you. She asks hard questions, not to discourage you, but to sharpen you. Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. That's what partnership looks like. 2 people making each other better. She's not threatened by your gifts. She celebrates them. And she has her own purpose. She's not just waiting to attach herself to yours. A woman who has nothing going on in her own spiritual life will be a burden to yours. But a woman walking in her own calling understands the cost. She respects the sacrifice. She won't ask you to shrink. She'll push you to grow. And when God calls you somewhere difficult, she doesn't panic. She prays. She's the kind of woman Sarah was, and it's called faith under pressure. She doesn't need everything figured out before she trusts God with you. That kind of woman makes a man better. That kind of woman builds a legacy. These are the 5 signs. She fears God. She speaks life. She carries peace. She serves others. She supports your purpose. And here's what all 5 have in common. They're all fruits of a woman walking closely with God. You can't manufacture these qualities. You can't fake them long term. So here's the challenge. Are you the man that woman is praying for? Because God sends the right woman to a man who is also becoming the right man. Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The key word is finds. That means there's a search. Intentional, prayerful, Spirit-led. Don't rush, don't settle, and don't stop growing, because the right woman is worth becoming the right man for.